Hi, lovely. I came on today because I want to talk about how I changed my whole life with this one mindset shift. And it was a really good change that's influenced me in so many ways that I can't even imagine where I'd be at if I hadn't figured this out. So I used to live my life thinking that there was a God or there was some type of higher power beyond me that was kind of like fate that was choosing my destiny, that was making the calls of what would happen in my life. And I think I might have gained this because I went to church when I was super young and I also went to youth group, and then just having parents that kind of controlled so much of my life of what I was allowed to do. I was just kind of under this spell almost of not having full control over my life, maybe like thinking karma or thinking something else was influencing my life. And when I had this moment of really just seeing and figuring out, oh, actually I have 100% total control of my life, is when I really felt like this crazy shift in my being and this eureka moment. Kind of everything that I had been taught made sense, and everything that I was doing, I just felt so much more passionate, so much more energized, so much more happy because I started to see it as I was the creator of my own reality. I had the power to change whatever outcome I was in. And this is like really empowering if you're in a situation that you don't want to be in, because it totally makes you see that I can get out of this. I can overcome any obstacle. It's my mind, it's my decision, it's my choice if I'm going to thrive or if I'm not going to thrive. And I know that might sound like a bunch of woo woo because you're like, well, there's everyone else's influence in your life. And like, it's easy for us to almost like blame others for our hardship because then we don't have to take accountability. And we're like, well, that person was super mean and they told me I couldn't go there. I failed because of this one teacher, and that's why I didn't make it into so and so because she didn't like my book report or something, Like, we are easy to blame others when we fail because we don't want to accept that we had a part in that. And the thing is when you actually accept that you have a part in it, you actually take control and get to be the God creator that you always were, and start to realize, oh, okay, yeah, I might create bad things in my life, but that means I get to choose all the good things that I create. And there's just a few Bible verses that I want to read that kind of made me also see that, or I take these Bible verses as us being almost embodied as God, to have the choice to make these. It says, I said you are gods, you are all sons of Most High. That's Psalms 82:6. And I just think that God and the Bible, it reiterates that we also are creators and that we also maybe aren't the full God essence, because I believe God essence is not in the human form. It's all of our higher, well, this is how I like to perceive it, and my mind kind of gets it and understands it. It's almost like all the collective energies or soul or unconditional love, like that purest essence is like the God form. But we also have a higher self and we also have that connection to God. So in a sense, we are also like God creating through our physical form. And I also like First Corinthians 3:16, and it says, "Do you not know that you are God's temple and God's spirit dwells in you?" And this again, it's just really like reinforcing that we're all part of this connection, and that I don't think that there's a God above us that's choosing our fate. I do believe that we may have things that are in our highest benefit, like people that we're supposed to maybe meet, or like, there's coincidences, or maybe we'll be more drawn to certain energies due to whatever past lives or relative bloodlines, whatever you think of. But at the end of the day, we have free will and we have choice over every single thing in our life. And that's the most unconditional thing of God's love, is the fact that he lets us choose misery or he lets us choose love. Like, that is unconditional love. It's letting a person have freedom to choose, like, fully for themselves what they want to bring into this life. And that is where, like, I feel like there's a different border between, like, good and evil or dark energies. Like, if there is to be darker demonic forces, they would be the complete opposite. They would not let you have choice. They would just be choosing for you, and they'd be pushing themselves on you. Whereas God, like, darkness would want to show its face and want to scare you because it's a lower vibration. But God doesn't need to show up and prove his love and be in your face, because he wants you to fully just be living in your own free will of whatever you're experiencing in this life form. And I hope that makes sense. That's how I've learned from just a number of different experiences. But I feel like the biggest turning point in my life, when I was really realizing, oh, like, the law of attraction, what we give thought to, the law of assumption, what we assume to be real will actually be real. And then there's so much science now that backs up these things with quantum physics and saying that we're energy projecting into material or matter form. There's been works by Joe Dispenza showing the power of the mind and how it can affect our physical vessel and our bodies. And he does a lot of studies on miraculous healings and just supernatural things, and he monitors the brain activity to see when these miracles and supernatural things happen. And I believe that there's so much more and so much more power that we have in our minds. And that's why I wanted to come on here, is to tell you guys that you are just so much more powerful and so much more, like, I don't even know how, like, it's just beyond words. Like, you are so much and so much perfection beyond that you could ever even imagine, and you are able to accomplish anything that you set forth if you believe in yourself. If you trust in the process, you trust that you are that creator, nothing will stop you, because you will have God and your higher self backing you so far. Like, you are that. You are a perfect manifester. And no matter what you think, you're constantly manifesting every move that you make. Whether you believe in karma, then karma will be your life. If you believe that there's something else controlling you, or that you're at the mercy of everyone else, that will be your life. If you believe you're really unlucky, that will be your life. If you believe good things happen to me, and even though sometimes I have bad days, I get back up, that will be your life. Like, it's fully whatever you're putting into your head is where you're going to have your life show up for you in the physical reality. And you can change that. Just stop telling yourself you can't change that. Because if you're telling yourself, oh, I could never change that, well, you'll never be able to change that. That's the first thing that has to go, is just taking power of knowing, I can change that. I'm going to try this. I believe that I am actually the creator. I believe that God wants me to enjoy life and love and have things that make me happy and feel bliss and joy. And I really think that the only thing that I don't believe that we can control is other people, because they have their own free will within themselves. And to try to control someone else and control what their destiny is, I mean, it backfires, and you might get your way a little bit, but you're not going to be happy doing that. And do you really want to force someone into something that's not actually at their highest good? And especially with love, I see this all the time, where it's like people are like, oh, and myself, I've done that, like, oh, I just really want that person to like me, or I love them so much, and like, we're so good. And then, you just want you just hope for the best for them to see a part in you that they used to see or something, and you just like will try to stick something out longer than it needs to be, when all along you probably could have attracted that same equal love or a better love just by focusing on self-love, the talk you're giving yourself, the upliftment you're showing up for, on all the things that you are needing and what you love. And I just really think that it's changed my life knowing that I'm empowered to choose my reality and I can overcome any situation that I'm in. I don't have to be living by something that I can't control in a way. Like, obviously, you don't get to control the timing, and there's a lot of surrender in the universe and with the alignment of manifestation. But ultimately, knowing that I'm taken care of, knowing that I get to choose if I feel good or not, you know? And it's all about perspective. And everything that you ever have wanted is technically yours if you don't put doubt in the way of it. 11:11 on the clock. So that's just what I wanted to hop in and tell you, especially if you're maybe new into the idea of manifesting or just questioning if this is a bunch of woo woo. There's been so many things in my life that I can confirm that this is 100% real. It isn't woo woo. And if you have more questions, just comment or message. I'd love to chat to you all. I hope you guys all have a blessed, wonderful day. Bye.